The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Thursday, the 8th day of May 2025. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. I'm Jamal Hartman, and Maya Palacio will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in the news break brought to you by People's. How's everyone feeling today? Is everyone afloat? You get it? Afloat? You know, the news reports you heard, Teo, like we were going to be underwater today because of the amount of rain that we were expecting overnight. So is everyone floating into work today? That one didn't hit either. I haven't given you guys a joke of the day lately, so I just thought I'd do a little attempt this morning. But hope everyone remains dry. I don't know. Is it raining still this morning? I haven't had a look outside the window. But if it is, as always, be a bit safer on the roads when they're wet. Some puddles can be potholes, so be very, very careful with that. But yeah, it's as Karen Simmons says, good morning TDH community. It is a thankful Thursday. I got that totally wrong on Tuesday when I was like, is it thankful Tuesday? Yeah, it's thankful Thursday. So a happy Thursday to everyone. And she's asking, did I go to yoga yesterday? I did. And it was fun. Full house, all gents. So some guys there that I only see during cop match. So it was nice to see the fellas in there. So one fella I used to play football, went to school with years ago, hadn't seen him in about 20 years in person. So it was fun going out there to Treehouse, doing yoga with Tiffany Painter, folks. It's a joy. I really had. You know what else I did yesterday? I went to Looky for the first time. And I probably shouldn't have said that out loud, but I made a couple of purchases, got me some sugar cookies, and I got me some sunglasses. And the person who, Joy, I went to primary school with her, so that was pretty cool as well. So yeah, Looky yoga. I had a local day yesterday, folks. I had a very local day. Charles is asking, what happened to the disco lights? You want the disco lights, audience? I thought that they were distracting you. That's why I took them. You want the disco lights? We can make the disco lights happen for you. You know, that's what you want. You want disco. So what happens? I don't know if you all figure this out. So I'm going to go silent. Well, it's not doing it, but the disco lights usually go off when I talk, right? So they go according to my speech pattern. So if it's silent in the room, which is not because the computer's making a bit of noise, they'll just stay one color. So yeah. Suzanne Ingham says, super awesome day, Jamel. Techie issues this morning. Oh, we are sorry to hear that, but we're happy to have you. We are happy to have you. It's an exciting question this morning because I think so many Bermudians have opinions about what we're going to be discussing this morning. Kenton Trott says, keep the party going with the lights. All right, brother, we're going to keep the party going with the lights. All right, greetings, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome Kennette Burgess on, she's a former Hamilton Parish hot pepper. Yeah, veteran hot pepper. You ought to know about the hot peppers. Yeah. Hot pepper majorette. But we're going to be discussing majorettes in Bermuda, right? You know, every year we've done the show, we pretty much had the Gumbies one, and we can't forget about the majorettes. They're a huge part of the culture, right? So looking forward to having Kennette on the show this morning to talk about the role of the majorette, the evolving role of the majorette, as it pertains to Bermuda's heritage and culture. The Daily Play is a Name That Place today. All right, name that place. So see how many of you are global and know places. Don't forget, if you haven't already, please subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. All righty, let's jump into it. Oh man, Auntie Karen said she missed the lights bouncing when talking happened. Okay, my apologies. The lights are on. The lights are on, folks. All right, question of the morning. And I know how you all, if you're feeling courageous this morning, are going to have an opinion on this. And I'm not throwing shade at the Bermuda Tourism Authority with this question. I am not. This is a genuine question. This is a genuine question. Let me repeat. This is a genuine question. But in the age of the term influencer, yeah, I cannot stand that term. And especially when people give it to themselves, like, I'm an influencer. Because somebody likes your picture doesn't mean you've influenced them to like a damn picture. I mean, have you influenced them to buy something? Like, is it Kardashian or something? Are you one of those where you making $1 billion because they're buying your lipstick, or Rihanna buying your, what's that stuff? Fenty? I don't know. Well, gotta ask you all, this is a yes or no. Have you ever taken a trip due to celebrity influence? Have you ever taken a trip? Have you ever taken a trip due to celebrity influence? Have you ever, yes or no, have you ever taken a trip due to celebrity influence? Be honest. Be very honest. SC Skincare says no. Karen Simmons says no. Marquita Lee says no. Mark Arthur C. Phillips says no. Michelle Doors says nope. Kenton Trott says no. Well, sorry, Kenton Trott says no, never in my life. Renee Simmons says no. Michelle White says no. Manuela John says no. Okay, anyone else? Nicole Walker says nope. Pam Wade says no. No one? Let me go over to Hannah Egan over on Instagram says never. I wonder if that's the same Hannah Egan that's got that really nice song that Everlasting Love, I think it's called. If that's the same person, hit us up. We'd like to have you on the show. She got a voice if that's her. I've never done that, by the way, but if that's the same person. We've got Headley and Swan says definitely not. Okay. All right. So here's the question of the morning. Now, again, this is not shade at the Bermuda Tourism Authority, but fortunately or unfortunately, we live in an influencer age, right? Where Maya did a story last month where she was in Toronto in a suite Bermuda Tourism Authority put on, and they had influencers there. When I was working in Bermuda Tourism, they hired influencers. When I was working for Palm Beaches Tourism, they had the influencers, right? And I've always wondered, how do you measure the impact of an influencer? Seriously, right? Is it how many people like and engage with a post? That doesn't necessarily guarantee a dollar's coming into a community, right? So again, not sure if the Bermuda Tourism Authority had anything to do with this. But as one member of the TDH team put it a couple of days ago, oh, we're bringing more J-list. I hadn't heard of J-list celebrities because Ja Rule is in Bermuda. That's a good one. I didn't come up with that one. But J-list celebrity. And it made me think, and again, I don't know whether the Bermuda Tourism Authority had anything to do with that. Groups choose Bermuda all the time to do different trips, and that's a Gulf trip based on what I read in the Gazette. But the question this morning to you all, how do you feel about celebrities? How do you feel about celebrities promoting Bermuda? How do you feel about it? But also, think about this here. What celebrity would you trust to promote Bermuda? How do you feel about celebrities promoting Bermuda? And what celebrity would you trust to promote Bermuda? Put your thinking caps on. Put your thinking caps on. Think about it. Give yourself time. How do you feel about celebrities promoting Bermuda? And what celebrity would you trust to promote Bermuda? I know, was it last year or a year before, a couple of years ago, Bermuda had seemed to have a relationship with Ashanti, the singer. Um, I'm not trying to be critical, but she was she was a popular artist back in the 2000s, right? Probably not as esteemed anymore. But how do you feel about celebrities promoting Bermuda, and what celebrity would you trust to promote? Something tells me the audience is really giving some thought to this. Like, what celebrity would they trust to promote Bermuda? Kenton Trot says, I hope they did not pay for Ja Rule to come here. He hasn't been popular since 1936. That's some serious shit, bro. No, I don't think they paid. I shouldn't say that. I hope they didn't. Kenton Trot says, "Didn't we try Beyonce with that concert years ago? How'd that work out?" I mean, it was a bad concert, though, boy. It was a good concert. But you're right. Like, I mean, how's the measurement in terms of how many people came to Bermuda to see Beyonce? WKD Lama said, I like the celeb promotions. Send Samuel L. See, Sam, you bring Sam. He's going to say that famous mother, you know what. I don't think Bermuda wants to align themselves with Sam, man. Now, mind you, Sam is the biggest selling movie star in the world. A lot of people don't know. His movies altogether made more than any other person. Yep, he's been in that many movies. But yeah, Sam, man, his language. You know, the older Bermudians are not going to appreciate his language. You better get to Bermuda, mother. Yeah, that's Sam. What else, audience? Oh, right. Charles A. Sheff II says Kenton Trot could speak to the influence of Ashanti. Yeah. It almost cost him his marriage, right? Before he got married, he had a crush on Ashanti when she came. Yeah, Kenton. We remember. What celebrity would you trust to promote Bermuda? Hadley and Swan says Elton John. Elton John. Sorry. Yes. Please don't bring up Ashanti. She came and broke my heart. Kenton Trot. Man, I hope your wife's not next to you. You're going to get something thrown at you. We don't do domestics on a daily hour, bro. we don't get involved in those. How do you feel about celebrities promoting Bermuda? And what celebrity would you trust to promote Bermuda? Nicole Walker says, I don't mind celebrities promoting Bermuda. Ashanti and Ja Rule are friends, so her exposure may have influenced this. Wow, I like that. I like that. And if that's the case, props and credit due to the Bermuda Tourism Authority, right? Because Ashanti coming may have set Ja Rule and his golfing buddies, you know what? Let's go there. Ashanti was there recently. She was here for Carnival, if I'm not mistaken. SC Skincare says Bermuda is expensive, so they would need to select a celebrity that appeals to an audience that can afford to visit Bermuda. Yeah, does Ja Rule's audience? Well, who's his audience? I mean, I last time I heard of Ja Rule, he had some party that didn't go over well in Bahamas or something. It was called like Fish Fry Fest or something like that. Yeah, so I don't know who his audience is. Sean Smith says only if they are a regular visitor to Bermuda. Any reggae artist like Buju Banton. Well, I mean, but then if you go back to what SE Skincare says, is Buju's audience really going to be the audience Bermuda is targeting? Denise Hollis, Denise Hollis says I'd go with Keanu Reeves. Okay, why? I'd like to know why Keanu Reeves. Mark C. Phillips says Ashanti also just filmed a music video on Island as well. Not sure if cousin Kenton knew about that. Oh my goodness, you all starting trouble. Audience, let us know. How do you feel about celebrities promoting Bermuda? And what celebrity would you trust to promote Bermuda? Like we had Michael Douglas who did it before, right? Didn't Michael Douglas do it? I think it's weird because I remember he came to Bermuda. He was on Today's Show doing something with the BTA. But I was living in New York at the time, and he was New York's tourism ambassador, like legit. He was their ambassador for bringing film to New York. So I'm like, man, he knows how to work the tourism game, being pretty much an ambassador for more than one destination, it seemed. Renee Simmons says Bermudians don't get that excited over celebrities. We don't care much if they're famous or not. And amongst us, I did ask Ashanti recently in a post when she will return, our own should promote Bermuda. Well, this is not about Bermudians, Renee. This is about guests, about the tourists. This is about promoting to tourists, hoping they have influence to not just tourists, but drive people to Bermuda, period. So it's not about how Bermudians feel about them or get excited. It's about how celebrities can influence others to follow them to Bermuda, right? Kenton Trott says, I think we need a celebrity that aligns with their vision. The hardest part is I don't know their vision. I mean, Sancho says that all the time, right? Like, who are we targeting? So no, that makes sense. Renee Simmons says, our own, like Carly Buds. No, you trying to start something this morning. You are really trying to start something. You trying to get those people say, oh, he's not Bermudian, he's not one of our own. I'm not getting into that. But I see your point. I think they did work with Carly Buds at one time and Twane Butterfield, if I'm not mistaken. They had the song So Much More. I think that was the tagline that they used. So I think they did kind of work with them making a song. Who else, audience? Who else? How do you feel about celebrities promoting Bermuda? And what celebrity would you trust to promote Bermuda? All right. How do you feel? And what celebrity would you trust? How do you feel? And what celebrity would you trust to promote Bermuda? I mean, is there anyone that you say, you know what? This person just makes sense. They make perfect sense for, Bermuda. They align with Bermuda, and they probably have the audience. Like the and I don't know them, I don't watch them, but the Kardashians, the Kardashian family. When you speak about influencer, I don't understand it because I've never seen their show, so I don't understand like the whole why people watch them. I don't get the appeal. But it's not about me. A lot of people do get the appeal, and they've literally become a billion-dollar empire, right? Simply because they're able to influence others to buy into what they're selling, right? I mean, they literally can do master classes on how to be an influencer. Think about it. I'm talking about them right now, and I've never seen their show. I don't even know what their show is about. So, I mean, that's how we need to think about it. If we're considering celebrities promoting Bermuda, we need to figure out one, which I think the number one question is, everyone wants to know, who is Bermuda targeting? Who's the BTA targeting? Who's our audience, right? Number one. Number two is, okay, what celebrity aligns with the vision? And three, does the celebrity's audience align with the vision? That makes sense. Let's go back to the audience. Charles H. Jeffers II says, I do wonder if celebrity influencers influence other celebrities to visit Bermuda on their own dime. Otherwise, I'm not sure that it has the desired effect on everyday people. Yeah, again, I'd love to know how it's measured, Charles. I'd like to see it measured in a way that we can say it has an impact or not. And I also do wonder, I've never really seen, well, I'll use Las Vegas. When they do it, the celebrities are actually having residencies. They're working as part of Las Vegas. They're doing stuff there. It's not like celebrities, excuse me, are just being paid to advertise, market, or promote. That makes sense? Mark Arthur C. Phillips, he says, I like when celebrities promote the island. They make posts on social media, and many times they have millions of followers. No, we get that. But that I think is the challenge in the social media age, though, Mark. The term influencer, what does it truly mean? Does it mean that because you gotta have a lot of followers and likes on social media, you have exposure? Or does it mean there's actual KPIs, key performance indicators, that can prove to you that those followers and likes and views equate to dollars spent, right? So perfect example. And I hate to be this guy, but even the ladies will admit it. A young woman will post a picture up in a bathing suit and get hundreds of likes. But that same young woman, the next day, posting up a picture selling a t-shirt with love over everything, no likes, no views, but also no sales on the shirt. So how do we measure that? Dorian says, I agree. Definitely Collie Buddz. He has a large following. Either way, BTA should be working with him. Who's Collie Budd's audience? Do we know that? To say that Collie Buddz should be the person? Or do we say, oh, just because he lives in Bermuda, which I believe he does. Who's the audience? Let's go deeper. I like this, Shikarina. Tabitha Brown, well, based on what I believe I read from the VP of Marketing at the BTA the other day, Bermuda promoting veganism or vegans and so on. So Tabitha Brown makes sense. She's also one person that I know, her influence has actually turned into results, right? She has products that she sells and they sell, right? Has things in stores. So I'm not mad at that. Gwyneth Paltrow, is that the one who named her child Apple? That's what I think I know her for. What she's an actress, right? Gwyneth Paltrow. I'm sorry, I don't watch movies and TV stuff, so unless you tell me, you got to direct me. Charles H. Jefferson II says the measurement of influencers on visitation is difficult to quantify. With a limited budget, we must focus on things that we can quantify and determine if it is or isn't working. And I think that's a great way to end it. I agree with Charles, folks. That's it. Like, we need to be able to measure the impact of what we do. And I'm not quite sure where we have the budget, the means, or have the ability to take the risk at this time to bank on celebrities / influencers to deliver for Bermuda. This was your daily discussion brought to you by our friends at Titan Express and Secure Trucking.
The Daily Discussion is brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. Visit TitanEXBDA.com, your leading tour and transport provider specializing in Black History tours throughout the island. And SecureBDA.com for all your property management, waste management, residential, and commercial trucking needs. Professional, punctual, and reliable service is our commitment to you.
Alrighty, just want to answer this real quick. Dorian says, Jamel, please do your research on Collie Buddies, I think he means Collie Buddz, concerts, and I believe you'll be impressed. No, I've been to one actually outside of Bermuda, but I think you're missing something. Do your research on who the BTA is targeting. That's what I clearly said to you just now. We don't know who the BTA is targeting. Is that aligned with who's following Collie Buddz? Just because people are white doesn't mean they can afford Bermuda. I've been to a Collie Buddz concert. So I'll do mine, you do yours. Because trust me, if you can figure out who the BTA is targeting, you deserve to be working for them, probably the CEO. Alrighty. If you haven't already, whatever platform you're on, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter X, or Instagram, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share the conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. We will be bringing Maya Palacio in for the Daily Hour Newsbreak. After that, we're going to be talking with Kennette Burgess, veteran, Hamilton Parish hot pepper. Yeah. Majorettes. Again, we have gumbays on pretty often. We've seen majorettes disappear from a parade over the years, and they are a huge part of our heritage. I mean, I know guys who, once the drummers left some of the majorettes, they started going to church just to play the drums. Seriously, I know a brother that said, man, if it weren't for Chew Stick, the only place I could go to drums is church. I say, seriously? That's what got you? Hey, look, hey, man, I'm sure your pastor was happy. Let's bring my Palacio in for Daily Hour Newsbreak.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hey, MP, how are you?
You know what? Feeling pretty nice this morning. A little bit shocked by the weather, but I'm enjoying this conversation.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we must well ask you. Have you ever been traveled to somewhere because of a celebrity um being there or influencing you? Or
I was influenced to go to Atlanta, but that's because I follow this creative. I posted sometimes on Media Mash. She says, I'm gonna keep it black, but I'm gonna keep it brief. And then she breaks down a lot of like educational things that have to do with either Black history or things that are happening now in current events and relates it back to the Black people.
Mhm,
Lene is her name, and she was having sort of like a meet and greet or signing and stuff. And I practiced some of her things, and I was like, I would go just to see her because I'm such a fan of like the work that she does, and she's inspired me as a
mhm,
creator. But that's about it. She's no one huge or big, but like that's
mhm,
again, you know how they say the macro influences and then the major ones, right? Whereas just because you have a ton of following doesn't mean someone like I wouldn't
mhm,
go and travel to see a Beyonce concert. I'm
mhm,
not a fan.
mhm.
Not
Oh, don't
anymore.
make the beehive come to
Sorry.
you on this show this morning, lady.
I was a fan back in the day, not a court fan anymore. But like I'm still impressed by her. But again, I'm not her audience.
Mhm,
I'm someone who probably like again has that 300,000 versus the 3 million followers type thing
mhm,
because I really align with what they're saying and what they're doing and the work they're doing. So I'm more of that route than the other.
mhm. I don't. I'm just old. I don't think there's anything I've ever seen on social media by anyone that's influenced me to say, let me do. And that's just how I was as a child. I wasn't that child who sat at the TV and the commercial break during Young and the Restless and the toy commercials came on during Christmas and said, I want that. I was never that child. Like I was always like, I want something if I saw it, not because someone else had it or made me believe I need it. Like if I thought I liked it, I liked it. But I just find it interesting because we're all so different. Um, I'm lying. I'm lying. I like to eat. And if you show me some good food on camera and video, I'm eating. Yeah, I'm lying. I've been influenced. I've been influenced. I
Yeah, but
stop
that's
right there.
food.
That's not
That's
a
not a
person,
person.
not a person, but food will influence me to get out, check your restaurant out.
That's fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
yeah,
I
that'll
think
do.
also what you said about what Vegas has as well when it comes to like they have the people there for a month or whatever, like they're gonna be there, they're gonna do things. That will be something that would probably allure me to go somewhere if I knew the person who's coming is gonna do particular things that I can afford to actually be at,
Mhm.
like
Yeah,
things that, a couple of things that they're gonna be doing while they're in Bermuda that even the general public will be happy to go to
yeah,
outside of a concert.
indeed, indeed. Yeah, interesting convo. But is there a celebrity? Is there a celebrity that you would trust to promote Bermuda?
I couldn't really think of one, to be honest. I mean, I like Tracy Ellis Ross. I like Yara Shahidi when she came down to Bermuda and she did highlight a lot of the local businesses here, which I really love that she did that while on the island. But yeah, those two.
Yeah, I couldn't think of anyone, tell you the truth. That's what's crazy. I could not think of anyone. I just think that whoever promotes Bermuda should have a genuine connection with the island. And I don't know the only person I know that was considered a celebrity that seemed to have a genuine connection with Bermuda. And I remember when I used to work at the airport, you would see dude coming in and out of Bermuda just like a regular person. Alfonso Ribeiro, who played Carlton Banks on Fresh Prince, that dude is come Bermuda regularly on his like just see him to the airport. He'd speak to everybody, just cool cat. He used to go down. You remember Club 40?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, Club 40, like he would be in club. Like he was just a normal person, but he was someone to me that was really connected with Bermuda and probably had a following that could drive people. Now, I don't know if you all remember, but Alfonso used to be into his house. Yeah. Don't call him Carlton though.
All right. Good morning, everyone. This is your Daily Hour News Break brought to you by the good people at People's Pharmacy. A reminder, and I know some of you guys have not yet, buy your Mother's Day gifts. Think of something great, and you can always go to People's Pharmacy for that because they have so many different options and so many things that you could cater to, or just get a gift certificate as well and let them choose and pick. All right. So we'll start out your news break this morning with updates when it comes to the Legends nightclub shooting. Want to keep you guys informed on that and what's going on within the community as it is so vital and important. So the Bermuda Police Service is aware of rumors that are currently circulating in the community that a suspect believed to have been injured in the shooting incident at the Legends Bar in Somerset Sands has succumbed to their injuries. Now, they share that their investigation has found no evidence to substantiate these claims. However, they urge that if anyone has been injured, that the individual or those who may be looking after them contact them so that they might assist in helping that person obtain any medical care required. So alternatively, the individual should be taken directly to the hospital as well if their injuries are believed to be serious or life-threatening. Further, equally important, they ask that should you have any information about anyone you believe may have been involved in the incident at the Legends Bar, that you do not share it on social media, especially with accompanying images. Instead, please get in contact with them and share the information anonymously if you wish with Crime Stoppers, or again at the portal.police.bm as well.
Yeah, that's irresponsible. I think we're all guilty of it in some respect, because all of us just want answers in the community. And so we have this thing where we want to share, we believe we're helping. And the truth is we're not helping. So I can appreciate the Bermuda Police Service sending that out and reminding us all, this is not dig at anybody, but all of us, including ourselves.
Yeah. Indeed. I remember at the press conference, they also talked about, they actually gave a good break. If you have not watched a press conference, watch it, because they gave a good breakdown as to like when someone is arrested, when it becomes something that you could take to the court, and understanding the whole process. So a lot of it was a question that was asked by Trevor, saying like, people are wondering if you could send out images of what these people look like. No, they cannot do that, because that'll mess with the court case. That'll mess with a lot of things there, because then now you're like, you are assuming that it's these people, like, we don't have concrete evidence yet. Like, that'll be wrong for us to like do something like that. In the same way, why you don't spread information or you don't share images or videos, because that's messing with the court case. That's messing with the whole entire thing in itself. So don't do it. And they stress that highly. And there was good education for me as well. All right, so we're going to switch the direction of our news this morning. A few days ago, I asked my audience over on Media Maya one question. If you had all the money to fix one issue in Bermuda, what would you fix? Now, I got about 50 responses to this question, but before I share it, Jamal, what would you fix? And audience, you can answer this too in the comments. If you had all the money in the world to fix one issue in Bermuda, what would you fix?
I don't know, because I feel like money doesn't solve problems. It can help. So it's tough, because while I would, the ideal answer would say, well, all problems start from education, right? Whether it's our roads, whether it's the violence, whether it's the state of healthcare, right? It all, to me, starts from education. Like, some people may say healthcare is expensive, but if we educate people, they can eat healthier and live better. Violence, if we educate people and share more Tariqs and Remy's, they don't have to be gangsters. So I don't know. I mean, if I want to give a surface level answer, all the money in the world, I could fix anything in Bermuda. I'll just be cliche and go with education. I would invest everything in education.
Okay, education. I see WKD Lama says cost of living. Charles H. Jeffers II says our debt. So let me show you what the audience on Media Maya kind of decided what was the most important and took priority. Sorry if you're on a phone, because this is going to look really, really small on your screen here. But the number one was education, Jamal. Just what you said. Yep, that would be something that everyone would be looking to fix primarily first. And it's interesting because obviously we know a lot of money is being put into education. So again, it's just deciding kind of like where that pathway actually goes. Second was housing, as you see there. The third was healthcare and access to mental health resources. And then we got the roads, public transport, groceries, cost of living went after that. And then as you see trickling in following was the government market center where the farmers house their vegetables. That was the one in particular from somebody. Someone said people's attitudes, politics, and assistance to vulnerable populations and the foster care.
Yeah. I want to touch on something, because I think both Charles and SC Skincare said debt. And the truth is, debt probably shouldn't be number one for this reason. Once you take care of the debt, you can pretty much put yourself in position to do everything that you are able to do for the people. But I understand about education. And again, I just want to be clear about education. I'm not talking about just normal Eurocentric education. We have to shift our thinking with education. It has to be a whole different thing. So I just believe that education is the root to all of our issues. I really do. From the way we behave on our roads. If we were like more educated, we would be driving more with more sense. Not saying that and again, separate education from school, folks. I know somebody's like, oh, well, education, no common sense. No, I'm just talking about educated. Like in your brain, you don't just know better, but you do better.
Hear that. All right, closing out with this story today. For years, Bermuda's lifeguard services has operated under seasonal contracts, limited resources, and truly unsafe working conditions at some cost. But that actually might be changing. A new $800,000 investment promises full-time, year-round coverage at our busiest beaches. Here's your story. Lifeguards, once seen as a summertime luxury, are now being recognized as essential. Now, this week, Minister of Public Works and Environment, Jashay Adams, announced funding that will place full-time lifeguards on Bermuda's busiest beaches, not just in summer, but year-round.
It's important to note that we're not just adding positions. We're building a sustainable service. We've partnered with the Royal National Lifeboat Institution, a global authority on beach safety.
The move comes after years of warnings. In October last year, beachgoers were left without any lifeguard protection for several days due to severe staffing shortages. Signs were posted, but former officials admitted the shortage was part of a bigger issue. Former Minister, the Honorable David Birch, said that it was way more than just the cost.
Mr. Speaker, despite having to pass an initial 9-day intense training course, pass monthly physical assessments, and pass annual 24-hour training courses, our starting lifeguards currently take home 18%, or $197.26 less weekly than the lowest paid worker within the Department of Parks. While it is acknowledged that the lifeguard service is experiencing shortages, the issues are fundamentally deeper than just financial figures. It is about attracting personnel.
But as he said, it's deeper and more than just numbers. A former Bermuda lifeguard who asked to remain anonymous described unsafe and unsanitary working conditions, including flooded bathrooms, poor sanitation after first aid incidents, and a lack of dedicated lifeguard facilities. They said, quote, for years, lifeguards were advocating for private lifeguard bathrooms for better and safer work conditions. Take a stroll to the public bathrooms at Horseshoe Bay on a busy summer day, and you can see the facilities male and female lifeguards are expected to use, usually barefoot. There is regular flooding of toilets, showers, septic tanks, and sometimes no functioning toilets at all. This is where lifeguards are expected to sanitize after being in contact with blood, vomit, bodily fluids, etc. Imagine being covered in bodily substances from a major first aid, and you have to wade through dozens of people in line and fecal matter on the floor to get to a sink or shower that might not work. It's ridiculous. However, even with what was said, they shared that they are still, quote, convinced it is by far the best job a Bermudian teen or young adult can have, and the data proves it's needed. In the last 4 years, lifeguards responded to over 283 major rescues, about 100 major first aid, over 1,200 minor first aids, 67 missing persons, and 165 special incidents. Last comment was particularly alarming as lifeguards shared with me that they had more than 22 rescues at Horseshoe in a single day while managing the ongoing mayhem that is Beach Fest. Now, with year-round tourism and warmer seasons stretching longer, Bermuda's beaches are rarely empty. The new funding will modernize the service in partnership with the Royal National Lifeboat Institution to improve training, pay, and create career pathways. So yes, we can consider this a step forward, especially if all complaints and direction from former and current lifeguards are being considered. And beyond public safety, it's a chance for the young professionals to be seen as more than just seasonal staff, but an essential career path for the community.
As Charles H. Jeffers II says here, those conditions sound deplorable for staff and beach guests. Folks, backstage, I almost threw up the apple I ate yesterday because I haven't had anything to eat today. Like, that was disgusting. To go to work, think of the conditions you work in. Barefoot, having to walk in what? I mean, to attract good people, you have to create great conditions, right? Mm-hmm. And as Maya said, summers are getting longer. I mean, we only heard about the incidents really when someone goes to the hospital ambulance or they pass away. But You saw the numbers right there. This is a serious problem.
Hmm.
If Horseshoe Bay being obviously the biggest culprit, the biggest beach.
This is a conversation I had maybe about 6, 7, 8 months ago with different lifeguards that were willing to talk to me about just the conditions, because this is during the time when we just had a lot of unfortunate deaths going on the island. And I found out a lot about the fact that, even having to come to work, change, that there's no proper change rooms. You might have to do it in the lifeguard station, or again in the bathroom where there's other civilians there. Like it's just a lot of different aspects. Nowhere to actually warm up food if they bring food. Like, different things like that have to do with this job that is like very demanding. And again, you're in charge of so many people's lives, so much safety. And then even seeing the numbers there about how many rescues they've done, how many major incidents they've had to carry out, how sometimes there isn't enough lifeguards that we have to actually staff all the beaches that we have. It's the 4 ones there that were mentioned in that report, but the 4 that are there. And Horseshoe Bay is like very crucial to have to monitor. So they have to close down one and say there's no lifeguards in order to have the amount of staff proper for Horseshoe Bay. But if you recall, even in the stories that I've presented before on lifeguards, we're just not even getting the applicant numbers that we should be getting. And then people who are applying, like I think it was in 2022, where we had roughly maybe 28 applicants and only 19 were approved to do that, because like 10 got automatically cut. It is a demanding job. It takes a lot. And unfortunately, it's the lowest paid one in the ministry. But hopefully that changes.
Yeah. I think Richard Scott just added the number of people at Horseshoe Bay Beach requires a full-time person in the restroom, similarly to what you see in the airports. I agree. We've got to do better. And as Charles said, we should be ashamed. We have to do better. We have to do better. And I don't want to share personal conversations, what I have with my team, like Maya and them, but even I know, like regularly, like I have to do better as their colleague and their captain and so on. But you want to make sure the conditions are fine. Like Maya, like think about it. You might be a great swimmer, love the water, want to do this. Like Bermuda is still looked at as a place where, I can go there for a summer job and do this. But you start the comparative analysis and people, word of mouth, go back. Oh, I went there last summer. It was horrible. I was at this. Come on, man. And then we pay for these little ad things, and then it tells us that Horseshoe is like number 10 in the world, top 10 in the world, and stop believing our own hype. Because when people find out based on their own experience, anyway, how's the weather looking? It's been wet.
It has, but I was expecting flooding that didn't really come. I'm thankful. But today it's saying some sunny period should be developing after a cloudy and damp start. So hopefully in the afternoon we get some sun, but it wasn't looking like that in the States with their downpour the other day. So we'll see how the winds flow and how it affects us, but we got a high of 75.
All righty. Thank you for that, Maya. Days of the year. Let me find one. What's today? It's Thursday the 8th, right?
Thursday, May the 8th. Yes.
Well, this seems fitting based on the lifeguard saying that they have to walk in the bathroom with no shoes. It's no sock day. So I want to ask people outside of the beach, audience, be honest, outside of the beach, where do you walk with no socks on? Where do you go with no socks on?
I mean, do wearing sandals count?
No, like where would you walk with no socks on? No shoes, nothing.
Just barefoot.
Yeah, barefoot.
Okay, my yard.
Your yard. Anyone else? Where would you go? I'm be honest, I ain't going nowhere. I gotta have something on my feet. I'm not that guy.
You ain't put feet to grass. Bare feet to
I
grass.
don't like the feeling, man. I know it. People say it's grounding and it makes you feel. I don't know.
Yes, it's grounding.
Yeah.
We're meant to be connected with nature, Jamal. All these things shouldn't even be a part of our everyday life.
See, I'm with Richard Scott. My house only. Yeah, Rich. I got you, bro. See, we're tied. He's got that red and blue problem, but we good.
You know what restricting shoes are?
My aunt says my yard. Okay,
Thank
her
you.
yard. Auntie Karen says nowhere. I have to have something on my feet. I'm like that, man. Honestly, I remember Keisha Allen Smith came on the show and she was speaking about it, and I tried it. I tried it, and then it's when I was living in Florida. I saw all these creatures on the ground, and I was just like,
Okay, that's a different experience.
Charles said his shower. I don't even walk around my house without something on my feet. Only in my house. Dorian says barefoot in my yard. It keeps me. See, I get it, Dorian, but I tried it in Florida, man. Florida scared me, man.
Well, I wouldn't do it outside of Bermuda, if I'm being quite honest with you. Like, I won't do it outside of Bermuda.
Okay. All right. MB, thank you so much. We'll see you soon.
See you soon.
All right, my applause here there, folks. Folks, if you've appreciated the conversation so far, whether you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, X, or Instagram, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share the conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. We're going to take a quick break. Don't forget, we're talking majorettes this morning. Yes, we love gumbays, but so many young ladies get some of their first coaching. They got mentorship. They learn lessons by joining majorettes. Confidence and discipline. Stick with us. Don't go anywhere.
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
Hi there, welcome to Medical House. We're located at number 6 Bakery Lane. I can't wait to show you all of the great stuff that we carry. Come on inside, let's see. Long days, long shifts, you no longer have to endure comfortable underwear. Designed by nurses, we now offer premium undergarments by Swoop that are unique, fun, comfortable, and functional. The only underwear you'll ever want to wear. Who says high-quality functional products can be stylish and comfortable at the same time?
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
Attention home renovators and design lovers, your dream space starts here. The brand new Kohler retail showroom at BAC Group is now open, bringing you up to 35% savings on all Kohler products at U.S. manufacturer suggested retail prices. That means no extra fees, no freight, no wharfage, no duty, no document processing fees, just pure cutting-edge Kohler design at unbeatable value. From sleek kitchen and bathroom faucets, vanities, toilets, to statement sinks, walking tubs, and spa-worthy bathtubs, BAC brings innovation and luxury within reach. Visit the BAC showroom on Mill Creek Road today for style, quality, no surprises. Just color from BAC.
Discover Drop It, your go-to grocery delivery. Browse and select from a wide range of groceries, from fresh produce to daily essentials. Our friendly drivers deliver fresh groceries to your door fast, saving you time and hassle. With Drop It, you get fresh groceries delivered fast so you can focus on what really matters. Drop It, freshness at your doorstep, delivered to your door with Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
Dreaming of expanding your business? With BDC's Loan Guarantee Program, we support your ambitions. Get up to 75% guarantee on bank or credit union loans up to $300,000. Just your vision and our support. Apply today and unlock new business opportunities. BDC, Bermuda business starts here.
Welcome back to the Big Show. Jamal Hartman here. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. Folks, do not forget to subscribe on our website. Excuse me. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. All right, without further ado, let's bring in our very special guest. You've seen her face before for various other things, but today we're talking to a veteran, Hamilton Parish Papa Majorette. Give a warm TDH welcome for Kennette Burgess. Hey there.
Good morning. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing great. Jamal got me up early this morning once again.
You know, we appreciate you. We really do. But before we even get in there, I gotta ask you, you got socks on right now?
I do not. I do not like socks. I do not like even wearing shoes. I actually get that from my late father. Like, we will walk around the house outside, like just like Maya said, like a woman of my own heart, like literally on the rocks with nothing. Like I'm a nature baby when it comes down to that. In Bermuda and around my house and my family's, but the US and different places.
Okay, then.
Hands.
Okay.
But yes, outside, I love wearing no shoes and no socks.
We're aligned, because that United States thing and no shoes. There's too many creatures that can end up in my feet, so we're aligned with that. But
not even on the beaches.
yeah, no, for sure.
It's not pink sand. It's no feed access.
Yeah, no, we're aligned. We're aligned. But thank you so much, Kennette. We appreciate you stopping in. We're talking Majorettes because, as I said, we've had so many people on leading up to Heritage Day and Bermuda Day in the past, but never have we had a Majorette or someone discussing Majorettes. From the beginning, right? How did you get started? Like, how did you get? Obviously, I know the story, but how did you become a Majorette, and what drew you to it?
So, good morning, everyone. Again, I'm one of the veteran Hot Papa Majorettes. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Hot Papas, and of course, for those of you who are familiar with the Hot Papas, coming out of the Hamilton Parish community, where I'm from, Crow Hill, Bay, all the different Hamilton Parish locations. It was definitely started as a community organization by two of the four leaders were my aunts. So Suzette Burgess Oldboy, Juliette Burgess Baston, Peoria Rattery, and Sonia Witter are some of the original founders. And again, they're old family. So that's how I got involved. From a young age, Jamal, I was 2 years old. So 2 years old, 1989-ish, 1990s early. Starting as a young, what we call them chili peppers at that age. And I got involved just through family connections as an outlet and, a way to perform.
It's interesting. You got in so young. And when we have gumbays, when we speak about gumbays and the impact, the connection through the diaspora and the connection through the West Indies community and the meaning where gumbays, the white gloves and covering their face and the like. What does it mean to you personally, starting so young as a Majorette? Like, what does it mean to you as you've grown and as a Majorette?
Well, it was so many different reasons outside of just being just a family connection. I'm a performer. I'm a performer by trade, professionally, and just generally. I've been dancing most of my life. Started out in Majorettes, and then of course UDP and liturgical, just different dance. And so for me, it was another outlet of expression. It's an art, right? Just like any other form of dance. So that was one of the reasons why. So it was just, the artistic expression, what they call it, your anti-drug, right? Mm-hmm. Growing up is the way to stay out of trouble, to stay focused on things. So it's definitely helps with that. It's definitely a confidence booster. So those are the many reasons why. It's also for fitness and stuff like that. So it's so many different reasons. Growing up as a youth, why I decided to start and just stay with it. Really.
And Majorettes have long been a part of Bermuda's culture and parades and different events, right? But there was a time, you see it now, like we don't see them like we used to, yes. Right? Like, how has the role changed? Like, how has it evolved into what we have today?
Of course. So, some of the original Majorettes was Warwick. They were one of the first groups, and some of the leaders came from, those groups and developed their own over time. And then as we grow along, things change, society changes, right? Cultural shifts, age shifts, right? Age gaps. Things change, in the workforce. As we see it, Jamal, with different ages, and you're learning how to manage millennials and learning how to manage, Gen Zs and all the different, age groups. It's the same when it comes down to the arts or the cultural performance realm, right? The preferences of young people are changing. So, they want more dancing versus Majorette. Some of them, they want more high energy. Some people don't find maybe marching in boots as comfortable. It's not something that if you just put on a boot and you're like, yes, I got this. You got to train in your boots. You're going to work them just like you work a pair of heels, right? You don't just put on a pair of heels and walk the runway. You have to, you have to wear them down a bit. And that's pretty much for your football cleats and anything like that. They're not, automatically just comfortable. So over time, the conversations that we have heard from the young people have been, they prefer dance, high energy, and they might be, want to wear sneakers when it comes around to it. So you see less and less Majorette troops around.
That makes sense. And I'm glad you addressed all of that, especially the physical aspect. Generations have different needs, wants, and expectations. But in saying,
and one more too, Jamal. Sorry, one of the biggest things, I can't forget this. Some conversations are sometimes the baton twirling, because I don't know if you ever spun a majorette stick. Have you ever, or even took an umbrella and just twirled it? It's not an easy skill, Majorettes are very, just like gumbays and anything else, any other technical art. Majorette is not an easy thing to learn. And when it comes down to the back, some people might be dancers and maybe good at shaking a rump and maybe dancing and coordinating in rhythm. But when it comes down to the baton twirling in itself, many of the people, even from young people, struggled. They couldn't really twirl a stick the way it should be. So, we taught them some cheat mechanisms and different ways how you can do it. So some people are like, I never learned how to twirl a stick, so I just stuck to dance.
I always very technical. I've never done it, but I've always wondered, because I'm just looking at my fingers now. I don't know. I don't possess much rhythm, but trust me. So now anyone has a baton, I can try. Like, I want to see if I'll be able to do it. But also, real quickly, anyone in the audience, was anyone in the audience a majorette? And gentlemen, will any gentlemen, maybe drummers or DJs for majorettes? I want to know how many people have actually, experienced with it. And in asking that question, let's go to this part here. How do you believe majorette groups contribute to the cultural identity, and especially during key events like Bermuda Day?
Majorettes bring the energy. Let's say historically, majorettes have been around for years. I don't know the dates, the cultural, the dates. Somebody could type that in the chat group. That might be a trivia question, Jamal. But we've been around for a long time. So culturally, because we've been around for a while, it's just embedded in our culture. I can't remember the dates of one of the first Bermuda Day parades, but majorettes were there, right? So we've been around for a while. And because it's something that mostly young women, of course, we have males as well. That's part of, whether they're dancers, whether they're baton twirlers, whether they're banners, whether there are DJs and our drum corps, various roles male play. Most of them, you would say about 80 to 90%, of course, are females, are women, or young girls. And it's an outlet, a cultural outlet for us to express ourselves in another form of dance, right? Performance. Using, again, baton twirlers. One of the differences between majorettes and regular dance is the fact of the uniform, right? Just like gumbays have their uniform, majorettes, we have our standard uniforms, and things change. If you look at the different groups, it's going to be different from PHC to St. George's Dancerats to Dynamic City to Hot Peppers, right? Everyone's different, but again, it's a lot of similarities. Just like gumbay troops, there are different gumbay troops, and things are different amongst them. The different cultural, dynamic and fashion. The same with majorettes. Everyone has our own identity, but again, you can identify a majorette just like you could identify a gumbay, right? And it's primarily, for women, and it helps us just a form of expression, and it's been around for a long time.
Indeed. Just want to go to the comments. So we did ask any majorettes in the audience. Renee Simmons says, I'm an Axnor Village majorette under the direction of Verlina Smith, and my mom was an original majorette under Irma Washington Butterfield. Majorette has definitely been around.
Yes.
We got Shonette Bell said, yep, she was
all right.
majorettes and drum corps. We got says Anika De Shields. We got Karen Kay says, yep, I've been a hot pepper in St. George's.
Teresa, hey girl. Yes.
Have my heart. And then we've got Ms. Ellen Kate Horton says, I was one of the first majorettes in about 1952. Says Somerset Brigade Band and the Somerset Majorettes, and we were high steppers.
Yes.
All right.
And Jamel Somerset Majorette is actually from one of my other aunts, Norette Burgess Simmons. So she actually started that. So hey, I have a history of family of majorettes in my blood from east to west.
No, you were made for it. You keep mentioning something. You keep mentioning like discipline and competence. Like, in what ways do majorette troops help foster discipline and community among young people?
So let's start with discipline. Again, from the art discipline and told you about the baton twirling and stuff like that. It's not easy. Like I said, a lot of people decided not to be majorettes because they just couldn't get the baton twirling down. Even for the males, for the drum corps and being our drum majors and stuff, they couldn't get that. So, discipline, when it comes around to it, it was that. It was just the technicality of it. When it came around to discipline as far as life and expectations, transferable skills into career, we have to make time. Now, one thing my aunt did not play when it came down to time. If you were late, you were back line, right? You need to come on time, and on time is what? Before time, right? So if you didn't come on time, if you didn't have a right attitude, you were part of the back line, right? We shifted you around according to how you behaved, right? How you performed. So it was really just like in school and at your home, it's rewards and stuff. We did that. We encourage great personalities and attitudes and time, just like they do in school. We did that also in the Majorette. So it was that. It was also confidence boosters as well. So great discipline. You know, our motto for Hot Peppers is, if you look good, when you look good, you feel good and you do good. Be the best, and we alternated last time. Be God's best. Never settle for less by any means necessary. Right? That's our motto. Right? So we literally live by that. You look good, because we're always, when it comes around to it, high fashion, Hot Peppers. Sorry, I'm a little biased, but to me, some of the best uniforms, outfits from day one to date. My aunt Suzette, shout out to her. She does a great job. Fashionista herself. You know, you feel good. We're all about confidence, and we instill that in our young people. And then you do good. Now, going back to one of your questions, as far as, you know, involved in the community. So one of the things I can definitely say that Hot Peppers, I'm not sure about the other groups, they can comment if you've done this, but Hot Peppers in the DNA, because this, again, is a community organization, and my family were high on community still to this day. So we definitely are involved in the community as far as giving back. We perform at senior homes, right? That's one of our training grounds, pre and post Bermuda Day. So we give back. We perform at schools, right? We give back to them. We perform at churches. Yes, one thing about the Hot Peppers, Jamal, is we are known to be entertainers, variety. We perform to reggae, soca, gospel music, children's nursery rhymes, whatever. We are a group of the people. We give the people what they want. So we actually are just a community performers, and people want us to perform at their cultural events, at their community events.
Wonderful. No, that's beautiful. Well, we have a hater in the crowd. My Aunt Karen Simmons says, my adult daughter is still upset she was not a majorette. She wanted to 12.
Oh,
you know,
what?
She can now hopefully, if she's still interested, learn how to, you know, do the baton. It seems harder at this age. Michelle Barclay says, I'm the director of Work United Majorettes and Drum Corps, celebrating our 50th anniversary, who revived Majorettes in 1975 by my mother, June Bailey Tuzo. Big up to you all. And
Warwick, yes.
Someone did an anniversary recently. Maybe it was Places Gumbies last year, but I love it. And
I love it.
We all see you all and the drums out there. We've got Rosalind Famous. She has a great idea. She said, maybe we can create the TDH Majorette troupe from the audience members. Well, yeah, you all seem to be, we got some Majorettes in the audience. Kennette, though, I want you to go deep, talk to this, because you've kind of touched on this quite a few times, and I don't think people understand the commitment. And I'm going to use Gumbies because that's my only reference. Yes, we see Gumbies Bermuda Day, but you can literally see Gumbies. It used to be just like seeing like Bermuda Day and then between Boxing Day and New Year's, but now you can see them almost any day of the year just going through neighborhoods, right? And you know, we know that for Gumbies to do that, there's a lot of training and so on. What's the training and commitment like when it comes to being a majorette? Because some people just think, oh, you guys just practice like from March to May, get ready for Bermuda Day, and then maybe if you're in a Christmas parade, you'll do November or something. Speak to what goes into it.
So again, I can't speak to every troop, because as I had some of my friends and family and others, and people can comment on that. You know, it's different. For the most part, as I hear a lot of similarities, at least for the Hot Peppers, you know, it's pretty much a year-round thing. We might take a little break, you know, not after Bermuda Day, but between end of summer and Christmas, like a little slight break. But for the most part, it's all year round. First of all, our communications all year round. We have groups and we keep in contact with each other. And I'll get to something on your mind, but we practice. Starting out is usually, you know, twice a week initially, and then as you get closer to Christmas parade or Bermuda Day parade, you know, it increases, right, to sometimes 3, 4, 5 times, and then, you know, Saturdays and sometimes Sundays and different things. So it all depends on the group and at the time, but it's definitely not easy. Again, technical skills when it comes around to it, and discipline as far as, you know, attending. Some people, you know, don't always come to practices. So we have a sort of like a virtual training, if you will, just like I'm with you right now, Jamal, you know, virtually. I know when I was in university, I couldn't always make the practices because of course, I was abroad, and by the time we came back, you have like a couple of weeks until Bermuda Day. By the time you graduate or finish in May to come back. So what we did was we recorded videos, and we had me in college, and still to this day, a lot of the people who might be busy at work, we have videos of training, and you practice at your home. So people, you might go to practice 2 to 3 times a week, but you're practicing like every day at your house, just like you would if you were playing football or dancing gumbes or playing on the drums. Like, because it's an art, because it's a skill form, because it's extracurricular, and you want to be the best at it, that you're going to practice. So, we have group trainings, but yes, you practice at home. I was, not only working on my fitness then and working on my dancing, but I was also twirling my baton and working in my boots and, doing different things at the home, because I wanted to be front line. I wanted to be the best.
But I want to ask you this, as you're talking, I'm just thinking like, man, I used to think about the gumbes and all that dance, that long parade, and think about the majorettes. Audience, any one of you can answer this as well, because a lot of you obviously have done it since you've been majorettes. You all don't get tired, all that walking and dancing, and like depending on the weather, like how is it doing the parade? Speak to that for me. That wasn't even one of my questions, but as I'm listening to you just now, I'm like, man, maybe I should have went and completed my 3 years in the regiment instead of just doing that 6 months, because that's some discipline, boy.
Is this when I say so? We don't at Hot Peppers. I can't speak to any other troop, but when it comes down to fitness and discipline, this is why, Jamal, I'm a volunteer, because I'm got my health sorted out, right? So it's high intensity, right? It's hours. You're marching for hours, and now every group is different. Hot Peppers, we're high energy, right? That's one of the people's group. We're high energy, right? So we're a mix of majorette and dancing, right? We're very high energy. So because of that, we do a lot of stunts. You got, some of the ladies doing cartwheels and flips and splits. We mix dancing with majorettes with gymnastics, right? Because one of my aunts was involved in gymnastics, Suzette. So we literally mix it up. So you have to be, in a certain of fitness and ability and willing really to do that. So yes, we get tired, of course. We do get tired. That's why we have to train. So we during our practices then, and also now, the ladies still do it. We actually go out on the roads and practice. So, we start inside during the winter months, and then it starts now. It gets more, towards the spring, summer. As we go towards Bermuda Day, we start going outside. So we work in our boots. We actually perform outside and different events in the community as well. Like we go to MWI and do their, event, and Loyal Heel and different things. That's part of our not only training for our experience, but also we get our fitness in as well. So it's definitely you do get tired. Some people pass out before. We have water stops. Shout out to all of our volunteers. We help give out the water and the oranges and the lima cool. Hello, sports.
But you know what fascinates me? See, I can't see the face of gumbes, right? I can't see their face.
Right.
But majorettes, I see you, and you're smiling through it. I'm like, are they crazy?
You better smile.
Like, what else? Smile that you have to do. I'm like, you're not tired, like your legs and like, seriously, that's the most admirable thing I see in majorettes. They are literally, and I used to watch right by tennis stadium, like that area, and so you're literally at the end. Coming right there.
You got us
They smiling.
Well, you know what, Jamal? In all fair, and shout out to our Bermudian public. I love you guys. As a performer, we all know, like, no matter what type of performance you do, the crowd gives you your energy, right? So that's one thing. With high energy, we need energy back. So when we get around to a certain part, you got your front street, and then you go around UDP, and then you definitely got your so around Victoria Park, tennis court. You got different points where when you get there, it's gonna be your little sluggish. You're gonna get a boost of energy, because the people's like, come on, dance, hey, Kennette, how you doing? You better perform. You all better stop here. Like literally, the poor marshals, they probably give them a hard time because they want us to perform. Now they're like, we've been here all this time, and you got people just walking by. They want us to perform and stop, and it helps us. It gives us the energy. So again, Jamal, when you're tired, you're about to pass out. Between the water, lima coal, and the orange refresh, the energy of the crowd also reboosts you. So
yeah, Terry
it's a
K says,
marathon
here,
run.
she says, for me, the energy of the crowd gets you digging the
Yes.
route. If
Teresa
the crowd
knows.
isn't vibesy, you have to dig deep. And
Yes.
Anthony Shields
And
says,
smile
yep,
through it.
smile the
And
entire
we practice that,
way.
Jamal. That's all part of rehearsals. You don't just practice
Mhm.
the dance moves and practice with baton twirling. And one thing in Hot Papa, Jamal, I must say this. At the end of the day, sometimes you forget your steps. You're smiling. You're like, hey, Jamal, how you doing? Hey, Sarah.
Well,
And you're forgetting your steps, right? You're like, oh, my goodness. You're like, I forget whatever, but you just smile. You just smile through it and you just, yes.
This is another thing, though. It's like, okay, if you're running like a half marathon, you ain't got to remember the steps to the beat and all that there. In the parade, and I'm not saying it's easier than running the Bermuda half marathon. I'm just saying, in the parade, you get your fatigue. You have to remember the steps. You have to like make sure you're on, and you have to smile. That's a lot of work. Look, you know what?
Discipline.
Props to you all. Yeah, no, a lot of
it
discipline.
is. It
But
is.
I want to know this, though. We've seen less and less Majorette troops, right?
Yes.
And I'm excited to see that Miss Barclay said that Work United is out celebrating their 50th. But what are some of the biggest challenges that Majorette groups face today in Bermuda? You kind of touched on it, like generations change and so on.
Yes.
What else? What?
Well, again, just for the first point, one thing that I'm proud of, that, you know, I think Hot Papas, we took a break for like 10, 15 years. The times of in college to now, it was like a 10, 15 year gap or so, right? And it was because, you know, people get overwhelmed and, you know, life happens. Life be lifing, as we say, right? And, you know, you got family, people focus on family and career and different things. It wasn't some of the other, it's every Majorette group has their challenges. With Hot Papas, it was never as far as support or numbers. We've had numbers from day one, when we first started, when we ended back then, and starting out, maybe started back up last year. We'll always have the numbers when it comes around to that. And I believe one of the differences between Hot Papas and even some of the other groups, like I love my Dynamic City. There's one of my favorite groups as well. Bring the energy. I think St. George's hasn't had a problem with numbers as well, right? Some others have. I don't focus on other groups, so I don't really know as much. But numbers, when you bring, I believe, Jamal, when you bring the energy, when you look good, again, look good, feel good, do good, we get back to community. Hot Papas are holistic. So I don't think we will ever have a problem with numbers when it comes around to that, because we embrace all generations, all generational music. We look good for all generations when it comes around to feel good and the discipline and everything. So I believe, as far as that, we don't Hot Papas don't experience the traditional things that maybe some other groups do, because we have changed and evolved, because our product, our brand, is all inclusive when it comes around to it, right? We don't just have one song or focus on old music. We have a variety from old to new. That's part of our DNA at the Hot Papas. However, some of the challenges, of course, when it comes around to it, of course, people don't always make us numbers and stuff. So, you know, sometimes, you know, when it comes around to it, it's very demanding. You got to make Gumbe practice, you got to make Majorette practice, you got to make work, you know. So some people might not always have that commitment. So, you know, if they can't make a Majorette, they might put them as a pom-pom girl. You know, it is what it is, or you might be a volunteer. But another thing is financial. It costs a lot of money, cost of living is going up. So of course, with anything financial, Gumbe's cost a lot, Majorette's cost a lot for your costume, for the truck and different things. So, you know, it's definitely financial. One thing I'm proud of is that as a veteran Hot Papa Majorette, I'm one of the sponsors through to North Shore Medical. Shout out to Dr. Brown and UCG Group. North Shore Medical were one of the sponsors. So one thing we can always use is more sponsors when it comes down to just thinking of Majorettes and people in the parade as a whole. That's the one thing that people complain about is just sponsorship. So that's one of the challenges in these financial times. You need more money, higher cost of living.
Indeed. Well, we've got to head out, but what can people do if they are interested, or know someone who's interested in actually getting involved with the Hot Papas?
Well, if they want to, well, feel free to reach out to me and I'll get you in contact with our leaders. Feel free to if you comment on this post, I can make sure one of the leaders probably checks it out. But you can, you know how to reach me, Kennette at getwithfocus.com or Kennette Burgess at Yahoo, whichever one you remember. If those of you have my number, you know my businesses, reach out and I'll get you the information. Definitely, because we have WhatsApp groups and all that sort of stuff to get you involved and to get you to speak with somebody about maybe making Christmas. It's too late for Bermuda Day, but making Christmas or maybe next year, Bermuda Day, 2026.
Kennette, thank you so much. Exciting conversation. Folks, if you are not ready for Bermuda today, this conversation probably just got you there. We'll talk to you soon, Kennette. See you next time.
Thank you. Happy Heritage Month.
All righty. Kennette Burgess, always a ball of energy. Man, did she not make you want to be a drummer or a majorette today? We've got Nikisha Burrows saying yes to Cedar Avenue, give majorettes life. We've got Walk Tall Work United, she says. We've got Lima Cole is life, says Terry K. Yep, Lima Cole certainly is like, folks, if you appreciate this conversation, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. We're going to take our final break. We'll be back and we'll wrap it up. Give my final thoughts on the majorette conversation, but also we've got a daily play. I want to see who gets this right. Stick with us. Name that place.
April is National Child Abuse Prevention Month. Children depend on every single caring adult in our community to make sure they are safe from sexual harm. Keeping them safe not just in April, but every day. Whether you're a parent, a guardian, a grandparent, an aunt, an uncle, or a caregiver, we ask that you take just 3 hours out of your busy schedule to learn what you can do to make sure the precious children in your life are protected. They are worth it. Join the SCARS certified adults by simply visiting our website to sign up for a free SCARS training session. Learn about online and body safety, how to protect them, and how to respond if they are harmed. This information is vital to their well-being and their future. Because they are children, it is our responsibility, Bermuda, to protect them. Visit scarsbermuda.com and learn what you can do to help the child in your life stay safe.
Looking for the best care for your pets? Noah's Ark Feed and Supply has everything you need, from top quality foods to toys and supplies. We've got it all. Join our frequent buyer program and earn rewards every time you shop. Plus, we've been awarded the Clever Customer Initiative program for helping you save more. And don't forget, we open an hour early on Saturdays so you can get a head start on your pet care. Visit us today or shop online for easy pickup or delivery. Your pets will thank you.
BAC's new color showroom is now open. Throughout April, for every $50 spent, your name will be entered to win great raffle prizes. Come learn from BAC, where luxury meets affordability.
Alrighty, thanks again to Kennette Burgess. Appreciate her big energy there, folks. Should be a nice parade. Work United making their way back. Hot Pepper's always doing a thing. 15-year absence. I didn't realize they were going that long, but yeah, love it, love it, love it. Big part of Bermuda culture. As I said, we've always had the Gumbies. Whenever someone speaking about majorettes in 1141 episodes, 1142, we changed the game because the ladies play a huge part in our cultural traditions like Bermuda Day. And also, I like what she said. They don't just perform in the parades, but they go to different spaces and perform. They give people life. So also recognizing the energy and all it takes. Thanks again to the BAC group of companies, Medical House Windows, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring we can do this with you on a daily basis. It is time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. All right, audience, it's a name that place. Are you ready? This is probably the easiest question of the week, and the question is based on something that's happening in the world today. What city is home to the Vatican? I was like, somebody gonna get it right. Michelle Dort, she was the first one, said Rome. Stacey Ann Brown said Rome. Karen Simmons, Rome. Renee Simmons, Rome. We've got Shawnette Bell, Rome. Everyone got it today. That's what's up, folks. If you haven't already, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter X, Instagram, share this conversation. We've had amazing conversations the last 2 days. We've had amazing conversations the last 2 days. But to beat the algorithm, we want to make sure that you don't just love it, but we need you to share the conversation so that Bermudians can know the story of a Tariq Lynch Wade, can have a better understanding of the Majorette experience. I appreciate it. But The discussion this morning regarding celebrities and the promotion of Bermuda. I'm with Maya. I don't know a celebrity that I would trust. I think I'm more on Renee Simmons. Let's utilize our own people. Let's utilize Bermudians to promote Bermuda. We have enough Bermudians with outside influence where we can utilize Bermudians to promote Bermuda. We do. You've got Fire Wayne, who has an audience. But I think, as we said with Dorian earlier, the key is to understand who are we targeting as a destination. Who are we targeting? Who are we targeting? Once we understand who we're targeting, we can have a better idea of who can influence who. All right. The conversation with Kennette was eye-opening, really eye-opening. For some of us who just watch and enjoy the performances, it's absolutely like, I love not knowing now the work that goes into it. I tell people all the time, you see us on the show, we don't just wake up, turn our computers on and start talking. There's a lot that goes into it, like 3 hours per guest to prepare for a show, to understand what we're going to ask and how we're going to ask it. The news prep, to do one story. Maya did a great story this morning with what people would do if Bermuda had the money, right? That takes hours to prepare. So knowing how much goes into the prep to be a majorette helps people with the appreciation, helps us appreciate it a bit more. Let me give you some daily inspiration. I don't want to keep you all day. So we've got quote, "It is amazing what you can accomplish if you do not care who gets the credit," end quote. That's by Harry Truman. I love that. Do good, folks. Do good. Do good. Do good. I want to ask, has anyone, I know we asked Majorette earlier, has anyone in the audience participated in the Bermuda Day Parade before? Has anyone in the audience participated in the Bermuda Day Parade before? I'd like to know that before we head out. I want to see how many people have participated real quickly. Let us know. Have you participated? I'm interested. Real quickly, we got Pam and Rosalind Famous at Vatican City. Well, Vatican City is pretty much on the outskirts of Rome, so it's considered, the Vatican's considered in Rome, but they have a very good point, that Vatican City. So we've got a yes from Miss Ellen Kate, yes from Dorian. Never performed, says WKD Lama, only ran once, sorry. Renee Simmons says yes, Rosalind Famous. Okay, so we have a good audience. Okay. All right, Easter Parade before that. Yep. We'll have the Minister of Culture, Tourism, Transport, Culture, and Sport, the Honorable Minister Owen Darrell, coming on tomorrow, and we'll be talking about this year's theme and the Heritage Month overall. So really looking forward to having him come on to speak to that. All right. Don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lenders, and People's Pharmacy, for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. I'm Jamal Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great day. We are out. Peace.